ugly inner city sweat hogs, hit the music.
All right, we are here with our WrestleMania 41 post show. Now that we have our WrestleMania fallout, it's time for us to kind of give our opinion. How about we do overall our opinion, then we'll get into night one, and then we'll break down night two. How does that sound?
Yeah, it sounds great. Well, since this is my first WrestleMania in probably over 25 years, I would say it was fun to watch the spectacle. It was very big, large, flamboyant at times. The backdrop was really cool. The set they had was awesome. The ramp, the ring, everything all set up. I thought it was great. I like that. That was pretty remarkable. Good. I mean, of course it's Vegas, right? So you got to go big. The cards themselves seemed pretty cool with the matches, but night one started off slow and night two ended slow. So guess you could say there's some cream in the middle.
But not necessarily really any happy ending.
And no happy endings here or happy beginnings.
Well, you know, it was kind of interesting that night one ended with, I thought it was a really good triple threat match, and then they opened night two with a really good triple threat match.
Mm-hmm.
They went polar opposites. I have kind of the same opinion as you. I think the production, the setup, the entrance, the arena, the ring, the pyro, everything they had there, the presentation is always second to none when it comes to WrestleMania. It definitely is an event, and you can see in these big stadiums that they go all out for it. And plus, it's a big weekend. There was tons of stuff. If you're a wrestling fan, I can imagine if you're going to Vegas and going to all the events, to WrestleMania World or whatever, but just even being a fan, watching all this from afar on our TV or streaming, there was tons of goodies to get excited about. My overall feels I had a good time with this, regardless of what we're going to be talking about, our criticisms. And I think some of the biggest fun was yourself and me and talking to one of our mutual friends. I had so much fun just texting back with you guys our little comments during the matches. That was actually some of the funnest parts for me when we did day one together. Obviously day two, because it's Easter Sunday, we couldn't do it together like we hoped to.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. The comments that we made, the funny memes that we shared, just some of the interesting takes that we had and the predictions we had as we went on, and we were keeping score the whole night of who was predicting the wins and losses. So that was good. I can't wait to do it again next year.
Like we said, and it didn't start off in a good way. I was dreading this match. And I'm talking about the Jey Uso versus the Gunter match. We've seen it 3-4 times already. They've had 10 weeks to build this thing, and it was a tough one to just due to Jey Uso. You and I both know he's super over, and we know that's why he is where he is, why he won the Royal Rumble, why we kind of figured he was going to get the win at WrestleMania, but it was hard to watch.
Is he related to The Rock?
They're all related. I assume they are.
So that's another factor. Him being probably cousins or something in the family. Yet, like you said, he was super over. They pushed him and pushed him. In our minds, he's going to be a horrible champion. We already saw evidence of that of his victory speech. I don't think he could put two words together, but no, you're right. Like, he's terrible. And the worst thing about it was they made Gunter look fucking weak as hell and dumb and slow and just unable to match Uso, which made no sense because, like you said, they had fought each other several times throughout the year leading up to WrestleMania, and then Gunter lays a stinker. It's like, I don't think so. Like, this is not right.
In this match, I don't know why they designed it this way. Gunter looked really ineffective as a character in this match because, like you said, he was this dominant world beater kind of wrestler. In their previous ones, I wouldn't say they had bad matches. They were as good as they could be, but there was always that Gunter kind of led the matches. Were here, they really made him look kind of, yeah, you're right, like weak. Basically, I thought Jay came off as Ultimate Warrior Bill Goldberg, where like he was impervious to everything to a certain degree, you know. And the problem is that that'd be one thing if he was Brock Lesnar or Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
His move set, when you see him spear, and then you see later on, like say on Sunday when we saw Braun Breaker do his spear, that's like comparing Horseman to ice cream.
Yeah, one of these are not the same.
Yeah, this was the one, like, I don't know, I might have missed a lot of this because I was more interested in our texting back and forth than this match. In this match, Gunther tapping within seconds when he didn't even really set in the sleeper. I could see if he was in it for a little bit and he set in the sleeper, being choked. Yeah, like you will tap really quickly, but once it really sets in, and these sleepers technically are not necessarily deemed chokeholds, like they're basically set enough where it's like almost like a neck crank. For him to tap like that, I just thought it made the character look weak. To me, it was a shitty finish. I think Gunther did the best. And here's the thing, I watched in the post show. I think things will go good for Gunther because I think the way Triple H was talking, Gunther doing the honors for Jey Uso, in the long run, I think Gunther is going to benefit more than Jey. That's what I'm hoping.
Well, yeah, that is true. I mean, come on. Like, you know, one is like super talented in all aspects of wrestling, and one is like mediocre.
People love his entrance. He has a catchy
like you said,
theme.
they love the yeet. That's about it.
He is selling merch. He is a likable guy, but when it comes to him cutting a promo, like he really needs to go to acting school or speech. He really does.
Yeah, he does.
Because here's the thing is that Gunther, who when he first came in the WWE, he couldn't cut a promo to save his life because he was just known as this wrestling machine. And English is his second language. It's not even his first. But you can see the progression of Gunther and how now his cadence and how he speaks, how he holds himself, how he wrestles, all of it, he's put it together. And for Jey Uso, who's been in the company for 15 years, and he still can't cut a promo, that's bad.
Yeah.
It just wasn't a good match, so I was glad that it was over. So we didn't start WrestleMania that good. Right off the bat, I'm like, holy shit. I'm already like, uh-oh.
Because we had predictions, so we need to call back to who was right and who was wrong. So you called Jey Uso winning, so we both got that right.
All right, well, we're going to leave this turd in the past, and hopefully we never have to talk about this again. New Day versus the War Raiders. It was a serviceable match. There was some decent spots, especially with that Ivar, the really big kind of piglet guy. He did he did some good moves, and I think he almost killed himself at one point in the match. But there just wasn't enough heat in the match. Like even the New Day, I don't know, ever since they kind of did their first turn, they've kind of been there. So it was just like, okay, it's a tag team match for the tag team titles in a division that is so shallow that there's really not much going on. They should have done for WrestleMania, because they left off the other tag team champions. They should have had the New Day beat the War Raiders a while ago, and you could have set up a unification match between the New Day, the Streets of Profits, or the Profits. Or is it the Street Profits?
You'll get it eventually.
I don't care enough. They should have had, because at least with the New Day and with those guys, they probably could have had a more exciting WrestleMania tag team match, and it would have meant something where they were unifying the titles, because they only need one set of titles for the tag team, because the tag team division, really, what teams are there?
It's watered down.
Yeah, like, come on, New Czech Republic? Nobody cares about them.
That's right.
The winners were the New Day. That was my pick, and I believe that was your pick.
Yeah, I picked the New Day as well.
Where I think things started to pick up. Jade Cargill versus Naomi.
Oh, yes. This is where things get good.
You and I are a little more favorable towards this match, because I've seen some opinions online as a little more critical with this. But for some reason, people really think Jade Cargill sucks. I thought she did pretty good in this. I thought she followed Naomi pretty well in the match. She took direction. She hit some pretty cool spots. So I'm a little bit miffed on why so many people are critical of her.
I'm not even sure either. Maybe I'm just not critical enough because I'm, not a longtime fan. But from what I saw, like, I thought she looked pretty graceful in most of her moves, and I thought she showed some power there, with some interesting moves, throwing Naomi around. So I thought that was pretty cool to show her strength, and she looked really beautiful. Yeah, so I'm happy with the match. I think Naomi did great too.
Kind of wish Naomi was a little more dirty. Maybe they could have had a little bit of mud wrestling involved, or you know what I mean? They should have got maybe some baby oil, but like I thought she could have cheated a little bit more because, her character, she has a new entrance music, her ring gear, her hair's not all glowy, and she's playing kind of a more unbalanced character. I kind of thought the character could have been a little more devious, but I thought still was a good match. There was some good spots, and of course, Jade Cargill is just a superhero. Like you said, she probably, from a physical standpoint, looks the closest to the comic character Storm.
Yep.
And there was a real cool spot where she picked her up and then she flipped her around to do like a power bomb. That takes a lot of strength in coordination, and like I thought Jade really did that. That probably should have been the finish to the match, but I know they wanted to go with Jade's signature finishing maneuver. It's a big win for Jade. It works, and I figured this was going to happen. So my pick was Naomi, because I thought, to be honest, in the long story run, having Naomi get another win over Jade would be really good for Naomi. But then just looking back at it, Jade also needs a big win too, so I understand why they went with Jade. I
picked Jade, and she got the win, so I was really happy about that.
Like, I'm not disappointed, and I think Naomi on SmackDown can easily get her heat back.
Oh yeah, 100%. I think she's going to be a great heel going forward. I think she won't lose any steam, and she'll be fine. I think she's great, and but I do think there might be some bigger fish to fry with Storm, or not Storm. my girl Jade. I think she'll be able to go after some bigger fish in the women's division.
I don't know if this is a one and done between Jade and Naomi. Going to be more steam to this, or both are moving on to something else. It's going to be interesting what happens with Bianca and then with these two. There's some interesting storylines, or we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Let's go to the Jacob Fatu and the LA Knight match.
Yeah, it was good. It had great spots, but the match was hard-hitting, some good spots. I think both guys were on point. The match wasn't overly long, but I think it showcased where LA Knight, he put up quite a fight. He did well against Jacob. This match, you could really see that they're going to really get behind Jacob Fatu, because he did some really cool spots, and he did them pretty flawlessly. For a big, Samoan wrestler, he shouldn't move like that, and he's pretty light on his feet, just jumping off the ropes and the bumps he takes.
I really enjoy him as well. I mean, this is where my prediction goes south. I had LA Knight to win to keep his belt, but I lost that one. But I'm not upset that Jacob Fatu had taken the belt, because when I first kind of came back into wrestling and you and I talked, and I'm like, yeah, I'm really liking this Jacob Fatu guy. He's got something about him, and so I'm really happy he actually won. He's going to be a great, well, I don't know, is he going to be a heel or a face? It's kind of hard to tell because people love him so much.
I would say as the match went on, he was getting a bigger cheer than LA Knight. I had LA Knight winning as well. He was my prediction. I just thought that him winning back the U.S. title, they would give him maybe a little more of a run with a second kind of reign with it. But I was a little bit worried when I saw that the night before, he got a big win in the tag match. So I'm like, this might affect our prediction. So I kind of started doubting the prediction going with LA Knight. And it's a no-lose situation, because you can understand it's Jacob's first WrestleMania. So maybe start him off with a win. And his win, it kind of echoes John Cena's, because John Cena at WrestleMania 20 won United States Championship from Big Show, And he went on to this, where Jacob now at WrestleMania, his first WrestleMania, won the United States Championship, which we know Jacob Fatu will probably have lots of title reigns in his career.
Yeah, he will.
I kind of feel bad for LA Knight, because then you're like, okay, is it due to his age? Because I know he's an older wrestler. You kind of wonder how much are they going to get behind, like, say, LA Knight? Because LA Knight is a wrestler that you could push to be a world champion. He's in a place where, what do you do? So it'll be kind of interesting. Maybe a move to Raw could benefit him that in the draft.
Yep.
Maybe if they move him there and kind of give him a different kind of new location and see what happens there.
I'll say I was very entertained with that match. It was good.
Yeah. And speaking of entertaining, I kind of really enjoyed this next match. El Grande Americano versus Rey, but not Rey Mysterio, but Rey Fenix, as on SmackDown, Rey Mysterio got injured. And they wanted a Rey in the marquee, but they went with, instead of Mysterio, they went with the Phoenix, Rey Fenix. And I thought it was a fun, short, 7-minute match. Some nice high spots. Chad Gable, again, he's handling that where it's kind of comical, but it's not overly comical, where it's really stupid, like Doink the Clown. But I just found myself, I'm having fun with the character. I don't know what it is, because I guess because he's not a real luchador and he's posing as a luchador, he's insulting the luchador, but also he has a good wrestling set where he's basically wrestling Chad Gable, but he throws in the odd little like luchador move.
Yeah, it's great. I love it. Keep it going. Like you said, I think this is money for them. So I say when I was talking about, they could do this big reveal and pull off his mask on WrestleMania, and you're like, well, wait a minute, why not just keep this thing going? It's like, yeah, it makes sense. Keep it going. I love it. I'm here to stay.
Because I was a little bit worried when I heard Dragon Balls or whatever that other guy.
Dragon Lee.
Dragon Balls. Dragon Lee. I figured that El Grande Americano was going to go over Rey Mysterio, in my opinion. And I was a little bit worried that it was a little too soon to maybe have Rey Fenix lose. He just got introduced at least 2 weeks, and I thought, well, gotta be careful here, but you're like, whoa, he'll have lots of time, it's okay. And I think you're right, because I think in this match, I don't think Rey Fenix loses anything, and in fact, I think actually him being on WrestleMania right away did better for him than him not being on the WrestleMania card, because people got to see him in a big thing. He stepped up. He had a really good match. And just listening to Triple H's comments after the show, he's got some big plans for him, and they're really happy that he stepped in and stepped up. So, but again, through cheating with the foreign object in the mask, El Grande got the win. El Grande was my pick because he's my new spirit animal.
Yeah. And I had picked El Grande to win also, so we both got that one correct.
As much as they can, there was signs with El Grande, so I think people are going to really get into this character, and especially with the dual kind of personalities where Chad Gable is here once in a while wrestling, then he's El Grande, and then people, and the thing is, they could really have fun where one time you'll have Omos, this big 7'3" Nigerian guy wearing the mask, and conspiracy that it's actually Vince McMahon hiding as El Grande Americano.
Yeah.
just to build some heat, but
they should do the old Scooby-Doo mask pull off.
Well, they should. After he gets beat, they tie him up and then they pull it off, and there's a bunch
exactly.
But they got to get other people posing as El Grande just to throw off the scent. And also, I think there's lots of mileage now that, like we said, the WWE just purchased AAA Lucha Libre Wrestling. So you're going to bring all that in. You'll have this, so the cross promotion, and there's going to be some great stuff out of this. So I'm happy that he won. And they're going to push this kind of storyline, because I think there's some good stuff that they can do with it.
There is. Yep. There's still lots to drain from this one, so keep it going.
Okay. Up next was the singles match for the WWE Women's Championship. Tiffany Stratton, Tiffy time against the Queen, the Nature Girl, Charlotte Flair. This one kind of had a lot of kind of interesting heat to it. Going into it, there was mixed emotions, but I thought by the time we got before the event, I think things really picked up for it. I feel like this match, it wasn't like it was bad and there was moments in it, but I felt like it did not live up to what I was hoping it could have been.
Yeah, it was, like you said, it had some moments, but I did notice, this is where I noticed a flub, a missed shot, and, you know, it kind of looked bad from my angles, like on the television. So I think it was like a kick by Charlotte, and it was supposed to hit Tiffy in the head, but it missed by a good 6 inches to a foot, and Tiffy still kind of like, you know, fell down like she got hit. So I noticed that was a bit of a miss there. I don't remember any others off the top of my head, so I guess it wasn't too bad of a match, but yeah, I did notice that flub, and it kind of took me out a little bit.
Just the overall feel of the match, there was some sloppiness in it, because I know Charlotte is the experienced one. To some degree, a lot of responsibility and a lot of the blame could be put on her. But I would only give her 20% of the blame in this match, and I would give actually 80% of the blame why this match just didn't work up to Tiffany. After watching this match, it seems really apparent to me that they rushed putting Tiffany in the position that she is. She probably could have benefited at least another year to cook before they put her in a position or in a match of this magnitude. I know with a lot of times in wrestling, it's either sink or swim, but I really feel like she got exposed in this match. And even just the lead up, like her promos were awful. Like she got really exposed on multiple fronts. And during the match, you could really see that Charlotte was talking to her a lot. Yes, she got the win. I guess that's good for her, and she took some bumps. Like, no one says she's not talented and doesn't have potential. She has great potential. And she's actually, you could see she's a tough grinder because she got quite a few welts and potentially chipped teeth, or at least blood on her teeth, or it was something on her teeth that looked like her teeth were chipped.
Apparently she shared a photo where her teeth were fine.
Yeah. So could have been better. I thought they would go with Charlotte. I thought it made more sense to have Charlotte, but they went with Tiffany.
And she was my pick, like I said, because, you know, I just happened to like her more. So I just went with my heart on that one. I wasn't really thinking with my head, so.
I also question if you were really thinking with your heart on that one. Something else was fucking doing the thinking for you.
But you're right. I did notice some hesitations with Tiffy, so that's probably why she wasn't quite prepared for everything. I picked Tiffany to win.
I got a feeling after this match, in my opinion, I feel like Tiffany's not going to have the title too long. I think Charlotte's going to get it back.
Perhaps.
And Charlotte will be fine. She can go into another feud. Who knows? Maybe she'll start feuding with Jade, because they had a little bit of a stare down.
I saw that.
I think they'll let that one kind of simmer. All right, I think the last match, the main event of the night, to me, this was my favorite match. I thought this was the highlight of the night for as far as matches were. I thought it was a really good triple threat match. I liked the story they told in this. I've heard online complaints about it, but I don't know. I found myself really invested in this one.
Yep, I agree. I think the story in this one is superseding most of the other stories. We'll talk about the lamest story later on, but yeah, this one paid off, and it had intrigue, and it had surprise and deceit, and I loved it. And the match itself was actually really good. You have 3 talented guys in there putting a lot of work in, and they didn't disappoint. So it was definitely my favorite match of the night.
We kind of called how this match was going to go. There was going to be a betrayal. I like the way it unfolded. Like Seth Rollins had to do his weird fire pyro, and then I'll say this, at least his ring gear wasn't as fruity cocoa puffy as it usually is.
Yeah, no, it was pretty good. He came out in garbage bags with a flamethrower, and then he took those off, and he was wearing this pretty cool white suit. Not bad.
Yeah, I noticed that was one of the major themes that the wrestling talent's ring gear. Did you notice, like, throughout the weekend, a lot of their ring gear had white incorporated in it? And it was great to see Paul Heyman come out with him because Paul Heyman and CM Punk are super close. Like, regardless how this is, I thought for, again, triple threat matches can be kind of give or take, but I thought this one went really well. I thought their spots, there was lots of finishes. I like that they kind of went into the Stone Cold Bret Hart, where CM Punk and Seth Rollins went into the crowd. At one point they were using the garbage can, a guardrail, and then he did a suplex on the garbage can. There was even a Macho Man elbow that CM Punk did, a few spears, and the one spot where Roman Reigns was going for the spear and Seth Rollins did the pedigree on him. He caught him in the pedigree as he was spearing him.
Yeah, like the match was pretty good. Like, there weren't any misses that I noticed. I thought it was really entertaining. Paul Heyman, for me, stole the show with the double cross, or the whatever you want to call it, the triple cross or whatever. But yeah, that was great. I really enjoyed it. That was a good ending. In hindsight, that should have been the finale to the second night of WrestleMania.
Yeah, and the thing is, Paul Heyman not only did kind of steal the show, he also maybe stole future generations from both CM Punk and Roman Reigns, because when he laid in those low blows, he really laid them in there. Like, Roman Reigns, he was there for a few, quite a few seconds there, and he was wrenching that to make sure. And if anyone, Roman Reigns has 5 kids, so he should maybe cool it. So maybe it's good that Roman Reigns got kind of blowed like that.
Yeah, he's done for kids now.
Yeah, he doesn't need a vasectomy because
no,
Paul. But it was kind of funny because Paul Heyman is pretty old, and he's pretty he's a big man. He's fat, and for him to get down on his knee, it's so slow, and I found it comical. But I think that's what made it so good. Because like you could telegraph how slow he was to get the low blow, but still it was awesome. And again, I think our prediction, like we said, Seth Rollins, we predicted that he would go over, and he did. And
I got it wrong, by the way.
Oh yeah, you had CM Punk.
I had CM Punk. And
my prediction totally came everything, the Paul Heyman joining him. And the thing is that, you be honest with you, Seth Rollins gave a real obvious spoiler on SmackDown. He said something that Paul Heyman always says. He used to say when he was managing Brock Lesnar, that's not a prediction, that's a spoiler. It's a Paul Heyman thing. And Seth Rollins was saying about their WrestleMania match, he goes, that's not a prediction, that's a spoiler. And I knew, I'm like, oh, it's Paul Heyman and Seth.
Yeah, right on.
Like you said, this match should have been the match that ended WrestleMania, like night 2. But it wasn't. But it was a great ending for night 1. And that took us into night 2. Because when we got into night 2, we actually started it off this time with a bang with the triple threat match for the WWE title. Their Io Sky taking on Rhea Ripley and Bianca. And like we said, I really enjoyed this match. I thought it was great.
So did I. I thought it was pretty high energy, so I really appreciated that, because throughout the night, some of the energy got lost in a little bit. So this one really kept up the energy. All the women are super talented. Entrances were great. I loved all of them, especially Mommy's. Yeah, the fight, the whip, the good old hair whip. Oh, I cannot forget that sound. It was great. I really enjoyed it. I got this prediction wrong, but again, I'm happy the way it ended.
Yeah, no, my prediction was right, and I'm happy it was. So I started off night 2 feeling pretty good about myself, but I thought everything was good. I thought, because it wasn't a super long match, but the high spots were good, the chemistry. And one thing I really noticed, Io, as the match went on, she was getting the most cheers from what I could see and hear. And you really notice there, Bianca, she's just getting boos. You just see how her behavior is in the ring. It's that continued, we're seeing little tidbits of heel work with her, because just her and frickin' Rhea Ripley's chemistry and how these two characters hate each other. they're boiling into something that I am hoping that we get something at next year's WrestleMania. Because when they were going at it, and like you said, with her hair whip, and boy, that hair whip was really nasty. Not as nasty as the chamber whip on Liv Morgan, but it was nasty nonetheless. And what's even more nasty is I'm really turned on by that. And then seeing Bianca swear, calling her bitch, that was good. Like a lot of people sometimes give Bianca a hard time, but again, she is a character. She's so good, so athletic. She's so kind of like that typical American athlete that, that wholesome character that people eventually start to hate. I'm liking to see that. I think there's a great heel in there, and I'm kind of craving to see that and to see her kind of act differently. Rhea, she's kind of the Stone Cold, but man, some of those spots that they did, and I tell you, the cake that I was seeing in this match, I was hungry. Like I wanted to eat the whole cake.
I was getting pretty full.
Like, and I thought the spot was good, the finish. Like I think our buddy didn't like the fact that the way the spot was. Yeah, after Bianca hit Rhea with the EST, Io did her reverse backsplash on top of Bianca. Rhea's feet dug right into Bianca's ovaries. So that's why she was so hurt, because her uterus was all fucked up. And that's how she got the pin. And
we can go with that.
Yeah, that's what I tell myself, because he didn't like the finish, but I actually enjoyed the finish.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. I thought it worked for me. Yeah, I really enjoyed the match. Yeah, I would love to see those three ladies fight again, but who knows? Maybe the threesome will be done, but at least we'll get a combination of one of the two.
I'm always down for this threesome, but I'm also cool with a twosome. I'm really craving a Bianca and Rhea WrestleMania match and like a blood feud, where they have to undress each other. That's what I want. So. And they barely have anything on as it is.
Yeah, there's not much to be left for the imagination nowadays, so I'm pretty happy.
Okay, well then let's move on to the next match there, and that is the Sin City street fight between the Celtic Warrior, no, not the Celtic Warrior, that's Sheamus, but Drew McIntyre. Yeah, geez Louise. Drew McIntyre.
My Scottish crush.
And bisexual Undertaker, Damian Priest.
Yeah. I'll say when they announced that they were having a Vegas street fight, I didn't think it was just going to be in the ring.
Oh, yeah. I thought maybe they'd be fighting in the parking lot, fighting in different casinos, maybe hit a couple strip joints, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, or like pick up a manhole lid and chuck it at each other.
Basically, it was just a no disqualification match. It was really
basically like a TLC match. Well, no ladders, but like there were tables and shit and chairs, whatever.
I still enjoyed the match. I thought it was a good grudge match. I thought it was a good kind of blowout match between this feud. Like I feel like after this match they can move on to separate kind of programs. I think Damian Priest should take a little bit of time off after this. I think he could use a little bit of time away, because I feel like he's a little bit stale. Where Drew, I think he's right in the mix now for whatever you can put him in. I actually think you could put him back to Raw in the draft, and he could eventually be someone that goes up against Jey Uso. Maybe there'll be a PLE that's in Scotland or in Europe, and he takes the title off Jey, because I want the title to be taken off him as soon as possible.
Yep, me too.
But it was a good match. I liked the entrances. I thought Slayer's guitarist was cool for Damian Priest. Again, called for Drew McIntyre to get the win, and he did. And
so did I. Yeah, I'm a Drew fan.
But the third match is actually Fatal 4-Way with Dirty Dominic, Braun Breaker, the Steiner Recliner, Finn Balor, and Penta. Again, I enjoy this match. Braun Breaker looked like a world beater. I love the spot on the table when he speared Carlito. Michael Cole had me howling. He goes, "I think Carlito's dead!"
Yeah, that was awesome.
I thought the commentary between Wade Barrett, Pat, Michael Cole, it was great. You know, because for years I did not care for Michael Cole, but man, since he has the freedom. The highlight was for me was the pick. I went with Dirty Dom. I had this feeling that people love to hate them. And again, just like the Samoan Wolf, Jacob Fatu, the crowd really got behind Dom. Like, he got cheered, everything he did. They really got behind Dominic, and it was so awesome how he got the win.
Yeah, I didn't want him to win, but I went Penta. But I'm still happy Dom won because he did great. He really did. Yeah, that was a good finish.
And some of the after post show, man, when he came to the table for an interview, he gets the business. He's awesome. He was like talking, and he was telling the Big E and the other commentator, he goes, I've been the Intercontinental Champion for 30 minutes. I'm not already the greatest. Like, it's just hilarious.
Yeah.
He's like, I should be in the Hall of Fame. It's just beautiful. And he still goes hard on his dad. He goes, my deadbeat dad. Oh man, he is so good.
Yeah, he is. I'm starting to like him more and more.
I believe he'll probably end up having a program with Finn Balor.
And this can lead to Finn Balor's days being really numbered in the Judgment Day.
I'm hoping Dominic has the title for a little bit.
Yeah, I hope him and Finn, they go at it for a bit. Finn's going to be pissed now because he's the only one in Judgment Day. He doesn't have a belt.
Yeah.
So.
Penta and Braun Breaker, I don't think they lose anything. In fact, I think they benefit from this. Braun Breaker looks super strong. They got the title off him without beating him. He can now go, the sky's the limit with Braun Breaker. Like, again, he could go after the world title even against Jay. Because he's kind of he fights everybody. So he's not like a heel or a face. So you could do all kinds of things with Braun Breaker. And Penta, it's only a matter of time before he gets a title, and he's exciting. So he's in a good place.
He is, just like his brother, Rey Fenix. Yeah, they're both going to be fine.
Oh, those guys are going to be big. They got, you can tell with Triple H, just the way he talks about them, they have... They're super happy. Like I said, Rey Fenix doing the job made him look really good. And this goes into the next match, talking about doing the job and getting exposure, is Randy Orton takes on a mystery opponent, because originally he was going to fight Kevin Owens, but Kevin Owens is legitimately injured. So he had an open match, and the guy they selected was Joe Hendry.
Yeah, I don't know... because I don't watch TNA, so I don't know anything about this guy. But I do remember seeing him at the Rumble, and he got a big cheer.
He wrestles for TNA, but he has made kind of sporadic appearances in NXT, so that's where I know him. He's a Scottish wrestler musician, so his theme is very catchy, like, I believe in Joe Henry. and it's super corny, but it's good. And he kind of did, like, you know how The Rock would do on Raw? He'd play a song, and with his guitar. Joe Henry does the same thing. He's very charismatic. He's pretty good in the ring. He's likable. And so him filling in, I was actually really happy because you and I were talking about, well, they could bring in Sheamus. They could bring in, I mentioned Rusev, that Bulgarian guy that was in the company before, who just got re-signed. We're talking about all these other guys from NXT, but I like the fact that they brought up Joe Hendry, because I have a feeling it's a matter of time before they pull Joe Hendry over to the NXT like they did with Jordan Grace. I know you don't know who that is, but you will right. eventually when she gets called up to the main roster. But I thought it was a fun segment for Randy Orton. Randy Orton got the win, as he was still my pick. He got the win. Yeah. Joe Henry got the rub. He got the exposure. Him getting beat like that. There's a meme. He's part of the lexicon of Randy Orton's RKO memes on YouTube. Yeah. So, because he does his little pose and he got caught.
Yeah, it's so funny.
It's so funny.
I loved it, man. That was our buddy was saying, him and I were texting back and forth because you weren't caught up yet. And we were both, he was saying, what a great mid-card match that just kind of lightened the mood, and you got to have some fun between the two.
I'm pretty sure Randy Orton's match with Kevin Owens would have been a big grudge match, like a grudge match. Not grunge. Well, it could be grunge, but grudge match. And it would be serious and all this, and someone would have really got hurt seriously in that match because of the hate between the two characters. But this one, it was just a fun, and we got to see another side of Randy Orton, how cool he is, how funny he is, and you could tell he was having fun in it. And even him kind of after the second RKO, he kind of slapped Joe Henry's chest, and that he was like, "Hey man, thanks. You're good." And then again, Triple H spoke very highly of Joe Hendry. This guy, I like him. He's Scottish. I can't wait to see more of him. I enjoy him, and I like the corniness.
Yeah, and if you've ever seen Randy Orton's social media, there's some comical stuff there, so it's not hard to believe how funny he could be in the ring, because he is funny in real life.
Oh, so. Man, him and Drew McIntyre and Sheamus, those guys got to get together, because I've seen all three separately kind of together. They're hilarious. But we're going to move on to Logan Paul and AJ Styles. So I'm going to take the L on this one. That my pick didn't go, but I know you picked Logan Paul, right?
I did. Yeah.
It makes sense, Logan Paul winning.
It does. He's going to be a great heel, and he's got real heat. So combine that with heat in the ring, and you got yourselves a star. He's really talented, so it's hard to deny the kid the opportunity.
I think he is a real douchebag in real life. If you listen to the wrestling community, like Triple H, even other wrestlers, they almost kind of say, yes, he is kind of a douchebag. God darn it. The guy is super talented.
Yeah, and he will help sell tickets, so that's important.
I don't really know what's next for AJ Styles after this. The guy is in the twilight of his career. It really doesn't matter him losing, win or lose, it doesn't matter. I think he can go have another program or feud with someone else, help prop someone else up. Doesn't really matter. He's always fun to watch.
Next up is the female tag team championship match.
This was supposed to be Lyra, Valkyria, or whatever her name is, and your girl Bailey versus Liv Morgan and
Raquel
Rodriguez. I found this one threw me for a loop, because we went with Liv Morgan and Rodriguez. Bailey was opted out, and they brought back Becky Lynch.
Yeah, that threw me off. So
yeah, threw me off.
Yeah.
Really, there's not much to say here in that they wanted to bring in a big surprise, so they brought in Becky Lynch for the tag team match. A little disappointed that they took Bailey out, because it's always nice to see her assets.
Liv Morgan was still the highlight of this. Her outfit and the way oh my god.
Yeah, that was yummy.
She was a little devil on my shoulder. But Becky Lynch and Lyra got the win.
I also want to shout out Lyra's entrance with the wings on her arms there. She kind of reminded me of the Sorceress from He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. Just like the Sorceress, I wouldn't mind flying with her in the bedroom.
And I guess they wanted a big surprise, because there's really wasn't a lot of surprises at this WrestleMania, to be honest with you. Like, think about it. Joe Hendry and Becky Lynch were the two big surprises. Those are not big surprises.
Well, and the Paul Heyman, but
yeah, I suppose so. 3, but someone that comes back, like say it was Stone Cold came out, and helped something, or someone came that we haven't seen forever. For example, was WrestleMania 8 when Hulk Hogan was fighting Sid Justice. Out of nowhere, the Ultimate Warrior came out. We haven't seen him for like a year. That wasn't expected, right? That's a huge surprise. Yeah. As soon as I saw Becky Lynch, I'm like, oh yeah, they're going over in this one. Fuck. But that's okay, because that opens the door for Bailey to win the Intercontinental Championship from Lyra, or who I think it's Liv Morgan beats her for it.
Oh, maybe.
So that's what I'm predicting. The fallout of this is Liv Morgan is going to get her nice little hands around some more leather.
Yeah, she looks good in leather. If you saw her outfit at one of the parties.
Oh, I know. Did you see that one little segment where the one wrestler threw her headband at her, and then she rubbed it in her butt? And I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay, anyways, moving on. We got to get serious here on... Hey, there's a reason why we call this Off the Rails Wrestling.
That's right.
We do go off the rails. Well, this takes us to the main event of night 2. And actually, you could almost argue on paper it's the main event of the whole event. John Cena, in his retirement year, versus Cody Rhodes, who's been the champion for over a year. Did this match, Turk, live up to its hype and potential?
No. I'm sorry. No. This match was shite.
All right.
Absolute shite. Pissed off. I understand that you could tell that John Cena was, playing the heel really, more, right? So he didn't change his moveset, but what he did was he slowed his moveset down and to the point where he would mock his own moveset. So he would, do the whole "you can't see me," but like he would make a joke or a mockery of it, be like, "Oh, I guess I'm gonna throw up the hand now," and then do this and wave it. Like I can see what he was doing. I get that. That's fine. But between the two wrestlers, it just seemed lethargic. Like neither one was raring to go. I don't know if they designed that on purpose because of Cena. Like, and I was expecting a marathon match. I'm like, okay, maybe they're going to keep this match slow and steady until the end, and they're going to wrap it up, and it's going to be a longer match. But no, it wasn't that long of a match. It was lethargic. No special moves or they each did all their finishers, but neither one really worked well. And then to even go further into the paint, they slow the match down even some more by bringing in that stupid rapper comes down. So then that takes him 3 minutes to get down to the fucking ramp or down the ramp. And then, Cena's smiling, ha 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 ha. And then they continue wrestling like a big distraction. And then the rapper dude gets involved and like, sorry, Travis Scott, whatever. I don't care. But that whole match had no cadence, no, just nothing there for me. And the whole time I'm like, this is shit. Worst match of the night, worst match of the whole weekend. I'm done.
I agree with you pretty much on all your points, and I think I'm going to kind of piggyback on that a little bit too. For one, I like the walkout where John Cena didn't have much on his. There was nothing on the screen. He had the blackout. I like that. I thought the slowing it down, again, I was fine with that. I actually had nothing wrong with the wrestling moveset and him slowing it down, him taking the breaks. But my problem was kind of like, I don't know again if it was by design or it's lack of chemistry, but these guys have wrestled before in the past and they are friends. Like in real life, they're good friends. I just felt like Cody Rhodes was very ineffective in this match. And you know what I mean? Like his movesets, he really didn't look good in this match. Cody Rhodes. And I don't know why it was like that. He looked weak. He looked stupid. Like he came off really dumb and naive. And so for the most part, I kind of thought the match was going okay. I knew the match was never going to live up to the triple threat matches or the Fatal 4-Way or even the Drew McIntyre match. And I wasn't expecting it. I expected a John Cena match, except him playing it as a heel. In that part, it worked. But then once they had a weak way where they knocked out the ref, it looked so bad. He gave him just a little nudge and the ref was out.
Yep.
That was bad.
Yeah, I know.
And part of it why it's so bad is that they, at Elimination Chamber, bring in The Rock. And that's fine, they bring Travis Scott. I don't even know who this is. I don't give a fuck about him. They bring in The Rock. So they set up this story that The Rock and John Cena. So in my opinion, if there was a time for The Rock to come out or another person part of The Rock's stable, this would be the time to bring someone out to help John Cena, not some Grammy Award-winning rapper.
Exactly.
What's the payoff on this? Are we going to get it on? Where's The Rock? The Rock shows up at Elimination Chamber. This was the time to have The Rock show up on the behest of John Cena. And the thing is, that would have made more sense because one thing that really bothers me with the current WWE is when somebody comes to the ring during a match, I hate when they play their theme music. Because then this is planned. But if they came out there and there's no theme music, it feels more organic. But
exactly.
But with The Rock, if The Rock would have came out with Travis Scott, you would have thought, well, everybody knows The Rock is a board member of TKO Holdings. So he's a part owner of the WWE, I guess, if you want to say. So for him to come and, you could see The Rock would have his music play, and then The Rock's would play. And he's the boss of the referee. So he brings his own ref that's in his pocket. And then they do the screw on Cody Rhodes. They stack it against Cody Rhodes. And the thing is, why no one comes out this year to help Cody Rhodes? Because last year, everybody came out there. It was overbooked at the ending, but people came out to help Cody Rhodes. This time, nobody comes out because he's been the champion, right? So Cody's by himself. So having The Rock, Travis Scott, and John Cena again, they should have done it that way, and I would have bought it more. But just having this little 100-pound soaking wet rapper who did the theme song to WrestleMania was the reason why John Cena got the upper hand. And then he was going to hit him with the belt. And then he pleads for him like a heel does. And then Cody Rhodes, because he's such a gullible guy, oh, geez, I guess since the last time you kicked me in the balls and bloodied me, I'm going to just put the belt down. I'm sure you'll have a change of heart. Kicks him in the balls again.
Yeah.
And then beats him. It was so lame. It
was stupid.
If the match would have been slow and methodical like it was, but then it really picked up at the end, to me, it would have been a pretty good main event. But the whole thing, and then I'm glad John Cena, as he was our pick, he got the win, so the potential's there. But I'm like, okay, I think they need to have Cody Rhodes off of TV for a bit because that
looks bad.
He looks so ineffective in that match. That's my problem with that. So it was a shitty main event.
And the reason why it was mostly shitty is because of story. The story didn't pay off.
No.
Like you said, The Rock needed to be there and to do something, because now you had The Rock come out of Elimination Chamber and orchestrate this whole thing against Cody, and then the build up, which was really lame in itself. Sure, Cody and Cena see each other a few times and they have like promos together in the ring, and then they each get to try and do their moves or whatever, and one guy's laying there, blah, blah, blah. But the build-up was supposed to be The Rock at the end at WrestleMania to finalize this, so we can find out, we don't know why Cena joined The Rock. That story has never been finished. They just started it. They don't finish anything. They just string you along and expect you to hang on for this grandiose moment, and it doesn't happen. And it's pissing me off. And I'm new to this WWE thing.
I'm sure they will pay us off, but I just feel, as far as a booking, Triple H needed to add something a little more spicy, where The Rock, if there was a place for him to come out, this was the time for him to come out and alter things as the final boss. Because you don't know, because I understand John Cena and The Rock are kind of on equal terms when it comes as wrestlers. So I don't know if it's a little bit of this, and again, I can't speak for The Rock, and I don't know what Triple H, I don't know what their long game is. If you bring out The Rock, are they worried about, it's kind of like Luke Skywalker in The Force Awakens, that they didn't have Luke in the movie because they didn't want him to take away the importance of the new characters. Is it are they thinking if The Rock's out there, it takes away stuff from John Cena? Because John Cena is a big entity as himself. But it just, this, but you send out this little skinny rapper that has no wrestling credentials, and he actually, in a way, is effective in Cody Rhodes essentially losing his title. I just thought it was a bitch ass way for Cody to lose. 2 years in a making for him to win that title and to have it for a year. I have no problem with him losing. We all figured he was going to lose it to John Cena, but the way it did, it really felt like it needed to be something more important. It needed to be bigger. It needed to be so big that it was so much out of his control, and instead, it looked like Cody was very and stupid. And I looked down on him. And the thing is, Cody was getting booed in the match too. See, John Cena was getting cheered. So there's another thing is, we're seeing people are starting to turn on these people.
Yeah.
And part of me, when I saw Travis Scott come out there, part of me thought that they were going to do a double switch. Where in my head, because I'm being creative, I'm like, what if actually Cody is really in league with The Rock? and actually they screwed John Cena. Part of me was like starting to go, why there's no Rock? So I'm trying to fill in some more creative things that I thought, okay, that makes sense that Travis Scott comes out there and actually Cody kicks him in the balls. This Travis Scott, you know, when John Cena sees him, he's all happy, and you're like, oh, well, maybe they're just kind of like that false sense of security with John Cena, because it's John Cena's final year. Oh my, well, this is how you maybe switch him back right away to babyface. But of course, no. So I don't know, because it's kind of crazy, and I don't want to go too long in the tooth here, but you see the difference between night 1 and night 2. The last match, the heel won, but I felt satisfied. I'm craving to see what happens next, where in this main event, I'm kind of very disappointed, and I'm kind of like, what the hell are they even doing with this?
And I'm super disappointed, and, you know, it's freaking WrestleMania. You brought us up to a climax, and then you just failed to climax.
Yes. This main event, the John Cena and that, it felt so anticlimactic.
Yeah, it really was.
You know, like, because in WrestleMania 17, when Stone Cold, they tried to turn him heel, which was funny because he's always been a heel. When he joined forces with Mr. McMahon and they betrayed The Rock, it still was a big deal because no one was expecting it. That Vince McMahon and Stone Cold were this. Oh, Travis Scott helping John Cena?
Yeah, so that's that.
Yeah, so anyways, that's our WrestleMania fallout.
It really is. Like I said, both ends of the show, Saturday and Sunday, were poo-poo, but in the middle was some nice creamy stuff.
There was some pastries, yeah. But I would say, how, just in hindsight, now that you have your first WrestleMania in how many years, still it's a fun event to be a part of.
It was especially fun, just, you know, not watching it with you, but kind of watching it with you from far. And like you said, we had our text messages going, so that made it a real fun event for us. So I can't wait to do it for the next PLE.
Yeah, I'm hoping we can kind of do that more consistently, and we're hoping we can build eventually a community where this is something we're doing, because I know people do kind of like those watch parties. So maybe this would be one day in a perfect world, we'll do a watch party with this. But it was a lot of fun. I'm enjoying it. For you, Turk, I recommend to watch WrestleMania 17, even WrestleMania 8. And to kind of see where these big surprises and these blowouts, and even try to get WrestleMania 40. Watch the night 1 main event and the night 2 main event, and you'll see the beautiful blowout of what this WrestleMania kind of was lacking.
Yeah, I'll put it on my list.
Okay, well, on that note, you are watching Off the Rails Wrestling. You are a sweaty hog. Come to us, listen to us, watch us. We're sweaty hogs like yourself. Let's get sweaty and let's eat some pastries.
Yes, creamy stuff.
On that note, there's only one thing left to say.